You can do anything you want to, I know that, just about, if you put your mind to it.
And Mark Roberts knows that firsthand based on his time in the Air Force as a law enforcement specialist.
Same thing as a regular police officer does, except you're on a military base.
But he first started as a nuclear security specialist at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. And that's when he cross-trained into law enforcement and spent time at Lackland in Texas and then Osan Air Base in Korea, then back to the States in California at Edwards Air Force Base.
While I was there, signed to the 95th Security Police Squadron, Desert Shield happened, so I went to Desert Shield and spent 1 year over at Dhahran Air Base during the Gulf War.
He'd come home and finish out his time at Edwards and retired as an E6 tech sergeant. And Mark had a small hobby he got into in 1984.
I've always liked to write. I was always writing little stupid things, little stories and stuff all the time, you know, and I sat down one day and said, I'm gonna write a book, you know, and just, you know, the great American novel here, so.
But the book went unfinished and started to collect dust until last year.
My wife's like, you know, why don't you finish that book? I was like, you know, maybe I should. So last February, dusted it off, laid it out, and started retyping it. We had a good routine going, you know, 2 hours a day, I got it done, and next thing I knew, I had a novel. The name of my book is called The Clio Project, a military time travel story.
The science fiction novel was published last month and follows a group of Air Force security policemen caught up in a science experiment and sent back to the Civil War.
How did you come up with that concept in the first place?
I get that asked all the time. I've always been in science fiction, and I said, I write, so I'm just sitting around one day, I said, you know, what if I had been send some guys back to the Civil War? And so it's just a story about what those guys had to go through and what they're doing in the past, trying to get back to the future.
And it's still settling in for the first-time author.
I don't think it's really hit me. It's cool when I got the book in my hand. I'm like, wow, I got a book. So far, I've got good reviews from people, and, you know, and people have been buying it.
Right.
You know, so I'm like, I'm surprised. But if you want to achieve something, I think you can do it. Anybody can. If you just put your mind to it, you've got somewhat of a talent to take care of it, you can do it.
And if you would like a copy of the Clio Project, you can find it right now on Amazon. And Mark also dedicated the book to his wife, Lori. So they were great people. I got to meet them in Green Bay, and that's kind of how the story happened. Don't forget, if you would like to nominate someone for our Hometown Hero segment, all you got to do, send me an email at the address you see on the screen, and I'd be happy to talk to all of our veterans. We got to check on the full forecast coming up on Local 5 this morning.